Today we are going to be looking at some bad Magic the Gathering combos now, won't we? All right, we're going to start off with actually a combo suggested by Guto Cardozo. Seer Conrad the Grim. Now, what does this do? It's a 5/4 legendary human knight. Whenever another creature dies or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves the graveyard, Seer Conrad will deal 1 damage to each opponent. Also has the activated ability of paying 2 mana and making people mill a card. Next card in this combo apparently is Morality Shift. Exchange your graveyard and your library. So if you have a lot of creatures in your graveyard, you will ping. I'm guess. I don't know. I'm assuming that if the creature goes from the graveyard back to the library through an exchange, it will trigger Seer Conrad. And then, of course, Mind Crank. Whenever an opponent loses life, that player mills that many cards. So we trigger the Morality Shift. I guess we lose all our creatures in our graveyard. We ping our opponent for a ton of damage. And then when they take damage, they have to mill that many cards, which means they'll even get more pings. Hopefully they have creatures in their graveyard to keep the Mind Crank going to probably do them in to the end of time. Okay, next up. Okay, Steven, the Wanderer and Command the Dreadhorde. Let's look at this. The Wanderer, the OG, and Command the Dreadhorde. Command the Dreadhorde, a 6-mana sorcery. Choose any number of target creatures under Planeswalker cards in graveyards. Command the Dreadhorde deals damage to you equal to the total converted mana cost of those cards. Put them onto the battlefield under your control. But the Wanderer says prevent all non-combat damage that would be dealt to you and other permanents you control. So basically, you could mill all the Planeswalkers into your graveyard, play the Wanderer, and then when you play the Command the Dreadhorde, I'm not taking any damage at all. And I'm going to command the Planeswalker army. Okay, we got Winter Fox with Poke. Thank you so much for the super chat. This is an actual super chat. Because you can submit combos through my Discord. The big 4-mana combos. Is this something I have to look up? Poke. Whoops. I wrote that. Poke. Is that anything? It's nothing. Anyway, thank you very much for the super chat. I guess we'll donate that to somebody. Islarp says, "Are you okay with generically good bad synergies, but not a combo?" No, it's got to be a combo. It's got to be a combo. It's got to be a synergy like that almost kills somebody, basically, something like that. In that world. Okay, what is this from Jasper Rab? Ether Flux Reservoir plus Fasting / Farmstead. This is like almost impossible. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn. Pay 50 life. Aetherflux Reservoir will deal 50 damage to target creature or player. Well, how are we going to gain that life? Farmstead. Target lands controller gains 1 life. If double white is spent during controller's upkeep, you cannot gain more than 1 life each turn through this enchantment. All we have to do is put a down payment of this farmstead. 50 years later, I'll be able to afford an Aetherflux Reservoir shot at your face. And boy, is it going to be wonderful. It's actually like buying a house and waiting like 50 years to pay the whole thing off, basically. Okay, let's give a combo to Julian. Luminous Broodmoth. Luminous. And the Fane the Broker. How do these interact with each other? 3 mana, 3/3 human warlock. Tap, sack a creature, put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature. Tap, remove a counter from a creature you control, and then create a treasure token. Tap, sack an artifact, create a 2/1 white and black inkling creature token with flying, and also 4 mana, untap Fane the Broker. We're going to remove counters, aren't we? Luminous Broodmoth. 4 mana, 3/4, flying. Whenever a creature you control without control without flying dies, return to the battlefield under its owner's control with a flying counter on it. So come back onto the battlefield with the flying counter. And then we are going to remove the flying counter with Fane the Broker. In fact, we cash in with a treasure token to help cast more cards. Between the Fane the Broker and Luminous Broodmoth, they've been able to teach each other how to cheat death. Okay, next up, let's take a look at a super chat from Lord Trevor. Fastbond and Storm Cauldron made for each other. Storm Cauldron? Okay, let's take a look at this. Fastbond, green, you may an enchantment. You may play any number of lands on your turns. Every land you play, you take 1 damage. Storm Cauldron, 5 mana artifact. Each player may play an additional land during each of their turns. Whenever a land is tapped for mana, return it to its owner's hand. You may play any number of lands whenever you play a land if it wasn't the first land you played this turn. I don't get this combo. Because only you're the only one taking the damage around here, right? Each player may play an additional land. Whenever a land is tapped for mana, return it back to your hand. This is like a combo that, like, I don't know, it just hits you in the face. And as you need to repeat taking the lands, infinite land drops and mana. Doesn't also say infinite damage whenever you play a land. If it wasn't the first land you played this turn, Fastbond deals 1 damage to you. That's what makes it bad. Okay. So basically, okay, I can get behind that. Okay, I understand. It is like, basically, we're making a channel. It's like a makeshift channel over here. We've assembled it with cardboard boxes, paper clips, and bottle caps to create this artificial channel over here. All right, next up, let's take a look at Toilet Duck, the Eternal Wanderer, +1 ability. To get the Oracle of the Alpha. How much arena do you play? And then eventually Oracle of the Alpha adds enough cards to your library for Battle of Wits? Is that even on arena? Okay, let's get back to here. The Eternal Wanderer, +1. Exile up to 1 target artifact or creature. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of that player's next end step. We are going to continuously blink the Oracle of the Alpha, which, when it enters the battlefield, conjure the Power 9 into your library, effectively adding 9 more cards to that library. It's bigger than it was before. And then we're going to buff up the library enough so that we can play Battle of Wits. Because for 5 mana, it's an enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have 200 more cards in your library, you win the game. This is actually probably the best idea I've ever heard to win with Battle of Wits. Hands down. I don't think anything can touch this. I think it's so good. The only problem is it's only legal on Arena. It doesn't exist anywhere else. Next super chat we got from Steve Cooper. Blightsteel at home combo on Discord. Plus dono for chat times 2. Thank you very much for your super chat. Okay, Blightsteel at home combo. You didn't write anything. Oh, you had a little. Where is it? Here? Oh, I see. Okay, it was just a little bit up, a little bit above. Is this working? Oh, sorry. I have to move over. How do I do this? Oh yeah, I have to move over. Let's go into Reddit mode. All right, what is it? Blightsteel at home. Well, we just saw channel at home, so we might as well see Blightsteel at home. Step 1, get a Giganosaurus out. Just a casual 5 mana 10/10. And then we've got Grafted Exoskeleton, the 4 mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has Infect. Oh god. And then when it becomes unattached from a permanent, sacrifice that permanent. Hey, we do not plan on sacrificing anything. We have one plan, is to go face. Cliffhaven Kitesail. When Cliffhaven Kitesail enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature has flying? Since when did Blightsteel have flying? I would think that this is a little bit of a fail. Blightsteel has trample. Anyway, I understand. Welcome, Jow. A long time no see. I was able to catch a stream heroes. Welcome back. Okay, let's take a look at least. I know Avatar of Woe is constantly posting stuff here, and also Kano. Let's get one bad combo from Kano. So we have Hive Mind. When one player plays an instant or sorcery, we all get an instant or sorcery. Enter the Infinite. That is not what I wanted to copy. So everyone's going to draw cards equal to the number of cards in their library, and you have no maximum hand size. And then we put one card from a hand back on top. Brainstorm? I don't understand. Oh! We put Brainstorm on the stack. Everyone else is going to get a copy with the Hive Mind. And when they get a copy with the Hive Mind, all of a sudden, they all have to draw a card first before everyone else. So everyone, the moment that they draw 3 cards, it's over. It's curtains for everybody. Okay, let's just get one from Avatar of Woe. Here's one from Avatar of Woe. Okay, this is... We start off, we have a Dryad Arbor, 1/1 Forest. And then we got a Spore Mound, 5 mana, 3/3. Fungus, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a 1/1 green sapling creature token. We've got Life and Limb, 4 mana. All forests and saplings are 1/1 green sapling creatures, and forest lands in addition to their other types. And then we play the Void Slime. Counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability. What does that have to do with anything? Avatar was an incredibly complicated explanation to this. If anyone wants to read it. How is this a combo? Whenever a land enters the battlefield that you control, create a 1/1 green sapling token. All forests are saplings. I don't understand what this Void Slime part is at the end. All right, well, anyway. It was a donation anyhow. It was a donation. All right, let's get back to the real world here. We are taking stuff from chat. We're going to get one from Almond, Jace Wielder of Mysteries, and Paradigm Shift. The Wielder of Mysteries. And Paradigm Shift. Jay says, if you draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. And then all we have to do is get rid of, well, sort of get rid of our library with the Paradigm Shift. 2 mana sorcery. Remove all cards in your library from the game. Shuffle your graveyard into your library. The key is just have a very small library. Small graveyard, sorry. The smaller the graveyard, smaller your library. The smaller your library, the faster you are to win the game. Nedum, welcome back. You forgot to shave. I didn't forget to shave. Sometimes I just gotta wait for it to get long enough. And you know what? Yesterday I didn't feel like it was long enough. Try this on for size. Spine of Ishsaw of Priest of Yawgmoth and Paradox Engine. Spine of Ishi. Priest of Yawgmoth and Paradox Engine. Okay, we got a 5 mana artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land perms you control. Last I heard, this card's banned. Supremely banned for Bring Broken. Priest of Yawgmoth. This is a lot of words here, but it's boiled down to tap, sack an artifact, add an amount of black equal to the sacked artifact's mana value. Then we have Spine of Ishsaw. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target permanent. And when Spine of Ishnaw is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return Spine of Ishnaw back to its owner's hand. So basically, we can destroy a permanent, and then we, like, sack it to add mana equal to this thing's casting cost, which means we get to replay it over and over and over again. And Paradox Engine says, whenever you cast a spell, untap all non-land perms you control. Do you even need this? Whenever you cast a spell, untap... I don't even know if that's necessary. Sack an artifact. Oh, you have to untap the Priest. I don't know how to untap the Priest. All right, the Priest gets untapped with the Paradox Engine. What an amazing combo. It works. Okay, we got Vic the Foxy Gamer. Too many counters combo. Is it in the Discord? You make it sound like it's in the Discord. Too many counters combo. I don't see it. Too many counters. It doesn't exist. Okay. Zeodolus branching evolution. Branch Evo tells us. Oh, this is just easy. Let's just put it over here. If you put in brackets, I thought this is like a real combo. Ozolith plus branching evolution. I guess it would help if you tell me if it's in the Discord or not. I guess I just assume. Not note Not in Discord? You're saying not. Okay, not in Discord. Thank you very much. The Branching Evolution, 3-mana enchantment. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a creature you control, twice that many +1/+1 counters are put on that creature instead. This is just, but this isn't really a combo. This is just super synergy, right? Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, put the counters on the Ozolith, but also at the beginning of combat on your turn, if the Ozolith has counters on it, you may move all counters from the Ozolith onto target creature. Actually, isn't this just like another Hardened Scales? One or more counters will be put on a creature you control twice that many counters. I guess the idea is every single time something dies, it keeps moving the counters to the Ozolith and then like doubling them up with the Branching Evolution. So we're evolving larger and larger over time. Next up, let's get one from Lewis. We have, okay, Arabella, Abandoned Doll, Kiki, Jiki, the Mirror Breaker, and Village Bellringer. Infinite tokens and Arabella triggered ability during combat goes nuts. You don't say. Okay, Arabella. What are you all about, Arabella? The 2-mana 1/3 legendary creature artifact toy. Whenever Arabella doll attacks, it deals X damage to each opponent, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control with power 2 or less. Is the number of creatures. So are we going infinite with this? How do we go infinite? Deals X damage to each opponent, you gain X life. Okay, we have Kiki Jiki. I'm assuming what are we going to copy? We can copy the Bellringer. Village Bellringer says flash. Whenever it enters the battlefield, untap all creatures you control, including the Kiki Jiki. So we bounce back and forth off of these. And what, like, this is like, is this necessary? Enter the battlefield, untap all creatures you control. You untap this. What is the point of Arabella? Does it have any actual point? This is like an extra steps for no particular reason whatsoever. I need an explanation here. I mean, you do get extra stuff, but technically, I think you just win here. That's all you need. You just need a Village Bellringer and a Kiki Jiki in play, and it's GG. It's over. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. One of these combo pieces is just completely win more. All right, moving on. Non-combat. Oh yeah, okay. Just in case someone has fog, someone rains on our parade with a fog. Okay, there's some strategic benefit here. Someone saved this combo. Somebody. Yeah. What if they have fog? How many people play still with fog in 2024? That's crazy. Okay, next up, let's take we gotta take a super chat. We got one from Pabno. Mini combo I've been playing with in an Alchemy Dino mid-range deck, the Stalwart Spear Tail. And Horrid Vigor. Stalwart. This is this is definitely an alchemy combo. Board wipe in green, and I keep a Dino buddy. You keep a little friend, huh? 3-mana 4/4 with Enrage. So when it's dealt damage, other dinosaurs you control and dinosaur cards in your hand and library perpetually get +1/+1. Whenever Stalwart Speartail attacks, you may pay 3. If you do, Stalwart Speartail deals 1 damage to each creature and each planeswalker, including itself. But how does the Horrid Vigor have anything to do with this? It's a 2-mana instant. Target creature gains Death Touch until and Indestructible until end of turn. Well, what does that mean? Oh, I see. You give itself Indestructible and Death Touch. Does this deal damage to everything? Whenever Stalwart attacks, you may pay 3. If you do, it deals 1. Oh, yeah, okay. You're going to Death Touch everything to death. And then you're just left with the Stalwart on the battlefield. Board wipe in green, that's right. Vic the Foxy Gamer says, I always have a fog. I leave 1 forest untapped every turn I pass. Oh, yeah, so if you have a reputation for playing with fog in your deck, I suppose. Do you want to waste your attack on me? I got my forest up, huh? I got the forest. Don't really need the alchemy part of it? I guess not. All right, next up. Just a random age. Donate plus Vorinclex and 9 lives. We're going to donate the Vorinclex? I guess the OG Vorinclex. And give your opponent Vorinclex and you can't die from damage. Is that right? Okay, so the idea is, okay, donate. We're gonna target player gains control of target permanent you control. That permanent's we're gonna start off with Vorinclex, the 5-mana 6/6. EDB, search your library for up to 2 forest cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle. And then you can keep those forest cards, because we're just gonna give this away. Then 6 mana, exile Vorinclex, then return to the battlefield, transformed under its owner's control, activate only as a sorcery. But I think we're only, or you want to give the second side? Mill 10 cards. How do we not? I think, well, you didn't specify the Vorinclex, all right? There's like 3 Vorinclexes, and one of them is literally called just Vorinclex. Okay, what's the right Vorinclex? This one? I think it's, okay, I think it's this one. The other one, like, screws around with mana. Vorinclex, 6 mana. If you would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, put twice that many of those counters on that permanent or player instead. If an opponent would put 1 or more counters on a permanent or player, they would half that many of those counters on that permanent player, rounded down. And then with 9 lives, which requires us to put counters on this thing to die. Why is this off screen? Okay, this is a 3-mana hexproof enchantment. The source would deal damage to you, prevent the damage, you put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. And then if there are 9 or more incarnation counters on it, exile it. And when it leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. But hopefully Vorinclex prevents you from ever putting counters on this thing. Okay, next up. There's a really convoluted way to try to protect yourself with 9 lives. Mr. Beans, Nadu, and Goblin Coward. How does this work? Okay, Nadu, 3 mana, 3/4. I think needs no explanation. Goblin Coward. I'm gonna start banning some of these accounts of yours. What's it called? Jasper Rab. This is definitely a Jasper Rab account. Okay, well, moving on, we got Pacers Fan Forever with Maha, It Feathers Night, and Pyromania. I want to say we've seen this one before. A lot of people love Maha. It feathers night all the time, day and night. Pyrohemia is the second card. 4 mana, 6/5. Flying Trample, Ward, discard a card. Creatures your opponents control have base power and toughness. Sorry, base power, toughness 1. So they're not going to survive very much, especially from Pyrohemia. At the beginning of your end step, if no creatures are on the battlefield, you got to sack this thing. But for a black, deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. Fortunately, not Maha, because just the creatures our opponents control have toughness 1. They'll never get underneath. They'll never be able to defeat the Pyrohemia. Nedum says you should add a requirement that combo must be $100 or more. What? That combo? I don't understand. Like the cost to buying the cards or something? Okay, Jow with too many cards. If it's 4 cards, it has to be in the Discord and you have to pay for it. 3 cards or less in chat. Okay, Dinglebag. We got Cryptolith, right? And King Makar! King Makar's coming back and Champion of the Trials. Plus any Gideon. Champion of... Is it Champion of Trials? Champion of the something? Champion of... I don't know what this last card is, Dinglebag. Anthem, Champion of the Flame. What were the first 2 cards? Okay, Cryptolith's right. Creatures you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Then we have King Makar. When King Makar becomes untapped, you may exile target creature. If you do, put a colorless artifact token named Gold onto the battlefield. That has sacrificed this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Maybe Champion of the Trials. That's I looked that up. Champion of the Trials. Okay, sorry about that. It's 4 cards, but I can use my imagination for the last one. Elternia Productions. Moving on. Cathedral Membrane. Please double check your cards. Make sure that they are real. Okay, we got Cathedral Membrane into Chandler. Oh, you can turn everything into artifacts? Okay, we have a 2 mana 0/3 Defender. When it's put into a graveyard from the battlefield during combat, it deals 6 damage to each creature it blocked this combat. What? And you want to use Chandler to destroy your own artifact creature? Look at Chandler. Chandler's up to no good around here. Okay, next up. Let's take... Oh, we have another super chat. We got from Lord Trevor. Thank you very much for your super chat. Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, and Cormus Bell. To be honest, this is not the first time we've seen this one. And then I guess you can like fill in the blanks how you want to do this. Cormus Bell. 4 mana. All swamps are 1/1 creatures, but they're still lands. And then Urborg is like, everything's a swamp. So all swamps are 1/1 creatures. Everyone's lands are 1/1s. Be careful. If you attack, it could be your last. It also could be the end of your mana. Let's take a look at Jess with Ansrag, the Quake Mole? We got a mole. Dark Steel Plate. And Lure. It's a board wipe. You deal... We need the real lure, the original. It's a board wipe. You deal damage to each creature till you hit the opponent. Okay, Ansrad. When it becomes blocked, untap each creature you control. After this combat, there is an additional combat phase. Then, for 7 mana, Ansrag must be blocked each combat this turn if able. Then we have Darksteel Plate, and they'll make our mole indestructible. Equipped creature has indestructible and equipped 2. Then also there's Lure, enchant creature. All creatures able to block enchanted creature do so. So everyone blocks Ansrad. Untap each creature you control. After this combat, there is an additional combat phase. Oh, and you're forced to block. So if it's ever blocked, you must block. You have no choice. Because I'm luring you into my mole den, or my mole hole. And then everything is dead. And then you still hit your opponent for a huge chunk of damage at the end. Let's not forget that. Okay, Blackbird. Stormkirk Condemned. Stormkirk Condemned. Moss Pit Skeleton. Oops, is it Stormkirk? Oops, I'm just an idiot. Strom? How do I spell this? Okay, I think you had it right, and I'm just an idiot. Don't worry, it's not your fault, it's my fault. Moss Pit Skeleton. And Archfiend of Ifnir. I hate that card. Stormkirk. Okay, Archfiend. Okay, we got there. Stormkirk discards Moss Pit, gains +1/+1. Archfiend spreads negative counters. Yeah, so negative, the Archfiend. At end of turn, Moss Pit returns to hand. Interesting. Okay, let's take a look at this beginning of this. The Condemned. 2 mana, 2/2. Discard a card. Vampires you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Activate only once each turn. Moss Pit Skeleton. If it would be kicked, it enters the battlefield with 3 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, if Moss Pit is in your graveyard, you may put Moss Pit Skeleton on top of your library. So what, this puts counters? Only the vampires get buffed up. And what, Skeleton goes back on top of your library? Archfiend. Whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponents control. Huh? I don't get this. Okay, Stormkirk discards Moss Pit. But doesn't this just go back when it goes... I thought it goes back on top of your library. Or you're just saying you do this every single turn. Discards Moss Pit ++. Yeah, he gets the ++. Archfiend spreads negative counters at end of combat. Moss Pit returns to hand. Whenever 1 more counters are put on a creature you control, if Moss Pit is in your graveyard, you may put Moss Pit Skeleton on top of your library. It never goes to your hand. It does. This definitely doesn't work. It's not counters. I don't understand this card. Whenever you discard, or if you, but you can, whenever you discard, cycle or discard another card, put a -1/-1 counter on each of your opponent's creatures. This one doesn't make any sense to me because I'm outside of like waiting to draw your Moss Pit Skeleton. I don't know. I don't know how it goes back to your hand, given the cards that we see over here. All right, so bad combo appears to be bad, unless we can get some further explanation from a Blackbird. All right, we're going to look at more bad combos. Some that work, some that don't, but we got to thank our sponsor today, FusionGamingOnline.com. The website, are we up? Are we operational? Damn, we're still down. But eventually it's back. You know what? If you go to the brick and mortar, they will be open. I think. They'll be open eventually. If you're watching on the replay, hopefully this thing's back up. If this is my favorite place to buy my Magic the Gathering cards, you can also get Pokemon. You can get Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, One Piece. They sell it all here at FusionGamingOnline.com. Don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. Because if you want to support the channel and support yourself, you want to get 5% off all your purchases with coupon code Nikachu. We're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online for Magic Online. Rent every deck possible, every format. Possibilities are endless. You have the power of the universe. You can craft whatever deck you want using Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_QTP. All right, back to bad combos. Bad. They can't get any more bad than this. The worst of combos. Okay, Scoo Diver Jr., Slimefoot, and Squee, and Space Fungus. Nikachu Pokemon Live went never. I'm too deep in Magic the Gathering. Can you get Flesh and Blood? I believe you can. Yeah, you can get Flesh and Blood as well. I never buy this stuff, but yeah, you definitely can get Flesh and Blood boosters, boxes, everything. Slimefoot and Squee, the 3-mana 3/3. Enters the battlefield or attacks Critty. 1/1 green sapling creature token. 4 mana, sacrifice the sapling, return Slimefoot and Squee, and up to 1 other target creature card from your graveyard to the library. Sorry, to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. So hold on, we sacrifice the sapling, return Slimefoot and Squee, and up to 1 other target creature card from your grave. Oh, so we bring this back from the graveyard. But we need to sacrifice a sapling around here. Oh my god. What is with these cards? Okay, if I'm gonna start banning accounts for giving me this crap. Next up, let's look at Benjamin Berkeley. Twitching doll? Is that a real thing? And then freed from the real. Looks like a Five Nights at Freddy's thing. We got a 2-mana 2/2 spider toy. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Put a nest counter on Twitching Doll. Tap, sacrifice Twitching Doll. Create a 2/2 green spider creature token with reach for each counter on Twitching Doll. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, and then we have freed from the real. This lets us untap stuff, right? So freed from the real, 3 mana, pay a blue, tap enchanted creature, also pay a blue, untapping enchanted creature. So what's the synergy here? Well, we can tap and untap it for oh no, put a nest count. Oh, we got the infinite nest counters. We've gone infinite. You're the only troll around here, Jasper Rab. You're the only troll. And then I guess at the right moment, then you create a 2/2 green spire creature token with reach for each counter on Twitching Doll. That's actually amazing. This is almost like just a real combo. Pretty damn good. Okay, did Christopher B, did you get one yet? Ansrag plus Siren of the Silent Song. Why is this Ansrag card so popular? I'm assuming the Quake Mole. Siren of the Silent Song. And then Holy Day? How many colors are you playing in this deck, Christopher B? Can't win with damage anyway. Get Ansrad to go off, keep swinging, then untap the Siren with Mill and prevent all damage to the blockers. 5-color Mill. Yeah, I'm like, how many colors are we assembling here? Okay, so it must be blocked. Sorry. 7 mana, Ansrag must be blocked each combat this turn if able. And also, It says each combat. Oh, sorry, this turn. So doesn't it just keep attacking perpetually and kill everything anyway? Okay, and then when it's blocked, it basically gets blocked for forever. Then we have Siren of the Silent Song, 3 mana, 2/1 flyer. Inspired. Whenever Siren of the Silent Song becomes untapped, which you'll get when we have infinite combat steps, then put the top card of their library into their graveyard. Sorry, each opponent discards a card, then puts the top card of the library. So they're going to lose their entire hand. And then Holy Day, prevent all combat damage. Oh god, that would be dealt this turn. So basically, the Ansrag and the Siren of the Silent Song just basically attack for eternity. It's like a gigantic pillow fight. This is a very creative combo. And Tommy says, like, there's another troll in the chat, and it's me. Okay, Nedim, fun combo, but lots of mana. We need Cogwork Assembler. Then we need the Stasis Coffin. Mirror Gallery. You know, I almost decide... I think I have to learn how to type on a keyboard without looking at it just for the sake of this show. I never really needed to do that, but I'm like, it would be a really useful skill for this show to just be staring at exactly what you want instead of me going up and down looking at the keyboard over and over again. How many of you out there don't, like, they still look at their keyboard? Like, am I the only idiot that decided not to learn this skill growing up? Okay, we've got Cogwork Assembler, the 3 mana 2/3 assembly worker. Pay 7. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact. That token gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Then we have the Stasis Coffin. What are we copying with this, by the way? You didn't really specify what we're copying here. Benjamin says, always look at the keyboard. I also still look at my keyboard. All right, I'm not the only idiot. Don't they teach that in school in Canada? They did, but it was like in grade... I want to say like they tried to teach it to me a little bit in grade 12. And you know what? At that point, I didn't really care. It just didn't matter to me. I mean, I like learned it and then just ignored it after that. You know, that's how I looked at it. Okay, Mirror Gallery. Pay 2, tap, exile the Stasis Coffin. You gain protection from everything until your next turn. Isn't this just like colorless Teferi's protection? And then Mirror Gallery. The legend rule doesn't apply. So we can have... Oh, so we can copy the Cogwork Assembler. It is... Oh, no, it's not legendary. This is legendary. So we're going to copy the Stasis Coffin. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact. The token gains haste. Exile at the beginning of the next end step. Exile it, you gain protection from everything until your next turn. Does this stack? Do the turns stack? Oh no, wait a minute. We just make a copy of it and then we just crack the copy. We just keep cracking the copies. Ah, I see. That's how this thing works here. Sounds good. I like it. Okay, Maddie Matson with Assault Suit. Lunar Force. And Opalescence. Lunar Force. Oops. Okay, Assault Suit first. 4 mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and haste. Can't attack you or planeswalkers you control and can't be sacrificed. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, you may have that player gain control of equipped creature until end of turn. If you do, untap it. Okay, so we're going to give somebody our creature. Lunar Force. 3-mana enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, sacrifice Lunar Force and counter that spell. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, sack it. What's the point of this card? Opalescence. Each other global enchantment is a creature with power and toughness, each equal to the converted mana cost. It's still an enchantment. Oh my god! So we turn the Lunar Force into a creature, equip it with the Assault Suit. It can't be sacrificed. It just can't. It's not allowed to. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, sack the thing. No, we don't. Does it need to sacrifice, though, to counter the spell, or do we still counter it? That's the only question I have. Yeah, that would be the only question. I don't know if sacrificing the card, sacrifice Lunar Force and counter that spell. I don't know if sacrificing is mandatory to countering everybody's spells. Sounds like a miserable life one way or another, though. All right, Pabno says donate to Lewis. Oh, you're donating to somebody, so I can stop seeing that abomination. Okay, who's the Lewis in the chat? Unstoppable Slasher and Bloodletter of Aklazots. This is a 4-mana 2/4 vampire demon with flying. If an opponent would lose life during your turn, they lose twice that much life instead. Oh, this is like... Okay, this isn't even like a bad combo. This is literally like a standard combo, isn't it? The 3-mana 2/3 zombie assassin. When it deals combat damage to a player, they lose half their life rounded up. And then if you do that a second, then if they lose half their life, and then they lose the other half, I mean, it's GG. That actually, yeah, it's a legitimate combo. We're not supposed to have legitimate combos on the show. It must be bad combos. Well, it was super chatted. Luis is super happy about it. I think the standard one is just a sorcery / instant that takes away half their life. This is pretty good. It's pretty good, all things considered. Stranger Candy. Obscuring Ether. Primordial Mist. And Ugin, Ineffable. So if you tell me if I tell him F you, he says he's ineffable? Is that what you're telling me? 6-mana. Okay, hold on. Let's see the earlier portion of this combo. Green enchantment. Face down creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. 2 mana. Turn Obscuring Ether face down. Becomes a 2/2 creature. And then we got Primordial Mist for 5 mana. At the beginning of your end step, you may manifest the top card of your library. Exile a face-down permanent you control face up. You may play that card this turn. What does this thing do? Color spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. +1. Exile the top card of your library face down and look at it. Create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token. When that token leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into your hand. I don't understand the combo. Yeah, I wouldn't F with Ugin either. You have a creature card with Morph or Mega Morph in hand. Oh, okay. So hold on. So basically, you're saying morphing is free. That's the combo. The idea, yeah. I think that's the combo. We get to morph for free. Don't know what this part is. Like, then the combo is just Obscuring Ether, Ugin the Effable, and then what's it called? What's that wizard called? I can't remember. The 8-mana 1/1. That could be the combo. I can't remember. Did you get a combo, Dinglebag? No, Dinglebag, your combo was disqualified. So you're coming back for more. Freed from the real. And then we have Cryptolith Right. Getting too close to like just a really good combo in general. King Makar! King Makar deserves royalty music. Exile any number of creatures and net that much mana. You don't say. So it's got Inspired. Gets untapped. You may exile target creature. If you do, it becomes gold. That sounds great. It has sacrificed this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Wasn't that just a treasure token? We made a gold token for no reason. Freed from the real. We can tap the enchanted creature. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay, Cryptolith Right will give our King Makar the ability to tap for mana, and then Freed from the Real will allow us to pay a blue to untap the creature, and then we just do this perpetually and exile everything on the battlefield. I love gold, says Tommy Siddons. Okay, Old Boy says, I got... no card... Hold on. Just before we get... Stranger Candy says, infinite ETB, infinite Leave the battlefield. Infinite storm count. Activate Primordial Mist by exiling the face-down creature face up, allowing to cast it from exile this turn. All right, thanks for giving us that extra insight to your combo. For anyone that's interested in the Stranger Candy combo. And we move on to Old Boy. Infested Thrinax. God Eternal Bontu. And Phyrexian Altar. Generate mana plus draw your deck. Any other infinite instant sacrifice outlets can still draw your deck. It'll just cost you mana. The Phyrexian Altar. Sack a creature, add 1 mana of any color. God Eternal Bontu. 5 mana, 5/6 zombie god. With Menace. Enters the battlefield, sack any number of other permanents. Then draw that many cards. When God Eternal Bontu dies, or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. And then the Infested Thrinax. 5 mana, 4/4 with Flash. Enters the battlefield, and until end of turn, whenever a non-token creature you control dies, create a number of 1/1 green sapling creature tokens equal to that creature's power. I don't get this. Okay, so whenever a non-token creature control dies, we get saplings. So we're going to sack this thing, and then it goes back into the deck. Then whenever God Eternal enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of other permanents. No, we can't even sack. No, we can sack this thing. When it dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, sack any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. Oh! Enters the battlefield until end of turn. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, create a number of 1/1 sapling creature tokens equal to its power. So we're gonna sack the god. We sack the god. I have assembled the combo. We sack the god to get the tokens. So we get the tokens, and then God Eternal Bontu triggers and says, "Well, I died. You may put it into its owner's 3rd from the top." But also, when it enters the battlefield, sacrifice any number of other permanents, then draw that many cards. So with that trigger on the stack, we sacrifice we sack it to the Phyrexian Altar, and then we get all the saplings, and then we sack the saplings. How do we do that actually? Sacrifice. We draw, but then it dies. Oh yeah, it's dead. I sacrifice it. Okay, with ETB, I guess with ETB on the stack, I sacrifice this. How the hell does this go? I have no idea. I have a feeling it works. It's just like it's a weird mess on the stack, that's all. Yeah, gods should be sacrificed to themselves. Okay, enters the battlefield. This thing triggers. In response, I sacrifice God Eternal Bontu. It dies. It goes back into my library, 3rd from the top. And then the second ability resolve. And then when it dies, I got a bunch of tokens. And then the first ability resolves, letting me draw all the cards. And then I can get my God Eternal Bontu back. Add 1 mana of any color. What else are we sacking? How we get 5 mana? Sack any number of permanents? Actually, I don't know how this works, because I don't know how we get this. I don't know how to replay it. It's like an onion. It has layers. So far, you've been right. I don't know. I'm mostly right. Okay, something's happening here. That much I know for sure. Last the end with Satyr Fire Dancer. Treacherous Link. And Lava Dart. Simple and clean. Okay, Lava Dart. Deal 1 damage. Flashback, sack a mountain, deal another damage. Treacherous Link. Enchant creature. Redirect to its controller all damage dealt to enchanted creature. What? All damage that would be dealt to enchanted creature is dealt to its controller instead. Oh, like Stuffy Doll. Or is it like a reverse Stuffy Doll? Satyr Fire Dancer. Whenever an instant or sorcery spell you control deals damage to an opponent, Satyr Fire Dancer deals that much damage to target creature that player controls. So, redirect all damage. All damage that would be dealt to enchanted creature is dealt to its controller instead. Then we have to ping it for 1. Is this infinite? Whenever an instant or sorcery spell you control deals damage to an opponent. Okay, I deal 1 damage to an opponent. Deals that much damage. Oh, okay, yeah, it is doubling the damage, so it does go infinite. So I deal 1 damage to you. Well, that also deals a damage to your creature that has this damn thing on it. And it'll deal another damage to you, which means it goes back to the creature, which deals another damage to you until you're dead. Old boy says, "Oh, you're right. Not enough mana generation for going infinite on itself. You have to spend 3 mana per execution on the combo." There we go. For once, I'm actually right in identifying that a combo doesn't work. Usually, I just can't figure it out. But you know what? It's bad. It's a combo, and it's bad. It, like, barely works. Requires some more pieces to work. All right, next up. Evan with Bone My. Oh, too many cards. Okay. It is. Hold on. How many cards is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. I forgot. There is one super chat Winter Fox gave us at the beginning. I'll give it to you. Otherwise, 4 card combos is supposed to go to the Discord. Bone Miser. Scourge. Familiar. Biotransference. And Oval Chase Daredevil. I hope this is easy to understand. Infinite discard, infinite black mana, infinite 2/2 zombies. You don't say. Okay, Bone Miser. Whenever you discard a card. Oh, cool. So we discard the Oval Chase Daredevil. Because when it well, let's get back to the beginning. Bone Miser. It's like a waste knot. When you discard a creature card, create a 2/2 zombie. Whenever you discard a land card, get double black. Whenever you discard a non-creature, non-land card, you get to draw a card. Scourge Familiar. Flying. Discard a card, add black. Oh, and it says whenever. Okay, so we can just discard any card here and we add black mana. Biotransference, 4 mana. Creatures you control are artifacts in addition to other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you lose 1 life and create a 2/2 black Necron warrior artifact creature token. And also, Oval Chase Daredevil, 4 mana, 4/2. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may return Oval Chase Daredevil from your graveyard to your hand. So every zombie that enters the so we want to keep discarding the Oval Chase Daredevil to keep making mana. And every single time we discard the Oval Chase Daredevil, we get a zombie, which happens to be an artifact, thanks to Biotransfers, which puts this back into our hand, which we can discard to the Scourge Familiar to get more stuff off the Bone Miser. Interesting combo. We got Binlin, Ember Shot. Isn't that the stupid burn spell? And then Apex Altasaur. Interesting. Okay, are we shooting the Apex Altasaur? This is just 3 damage to a creature and you get to draw a card. It's expensive, but it's burned with card draw. When it enters the battlefield, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control, but has Enrage. Whenever it's dealt damage, it fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Is that it? We're just gonna piss it off with the Ember Shot? I guess so. We just trigger the fighting mechanic. Hexenort. We have Xenia, Harmonic Prodigy. And Fanatic of Mogus. All right, this is a Harmonic Prodigy. Has prowess and infinability of a shaman or a wizard. You control triggers. It triggers an additional time. And then we got Fanatic of Mogus. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage to each opponent equal to your devotion to red. So we get basically double damage from the Harmonic Prodigy. And then Xenia Valley's Voice is a 3 mana 1/3 bird bard flying. It gets +X+0, where X is the number of other creatures you control with base power 1. Which is just this. Creature spells you cast have offspring 2. Oh, you may pay an additional 2 as you cast the creature spell. If you do, when that creature enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 copy of it. So I guess we're going to copy the crap out of Harmonic Prodigy and enough times that we can play Fanatic of Mogus for basically victory. as far as I see it. You got a card yet? You got a card. I gave you the Farmstead combo. Remember, Farmstead and something else. It was Farmstead and Aetherflux Reservoir. Okay, okay, we have a super chat. We have a few super chats here. Donation for no card yet chat ×4. I don't know if there's any more left. Okay, let's see. Who doesn't have a card yet? Who really doesn't have a card? Okay, I just got Hexenorts. I think I got everybody now. It's now we're at a point of like no 2 cards yet. That does not count. Hey, it was not my fault you wasted it on that. I don't think Big Squid got one yet. Wound Reflection. Why do we have Shahrazad in this? Doomsday Excruciator and Shahrazad. Shahrazad. Keep making sub games. Doomsday Excruciator, 6 mana for a 6/6. Enters if it was cast. Each player exiles all but the bottom 6 cards of the library face down. Oh my god, what are we doing here?
No, God, please, no!
How can you play any of the sub games? I mean, you just have to... What's the third card? Because this is... I just need to see these 2. Wound Reflection. At the beginning of each end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. So hold on. Oh, I see. So Shahrazad says, I think everyone loses half their life when they leave if they lose the sub game. And so then when you wake up from... I don't want to call it the Matrix. When you wake up from Inception, because this is just Inception, the card. I guess you win the game at the end. Okay, that was one super chat. Let's get one from Rodriguez. Ancient Silver Dragon with Vodalian Wave Knight. Cool interaction I use with the Knight deck. 4 mana 3/3 Merfolk Knight. I didn't even know this existed. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on each other Merfolk and or Knight you control. And also we have the Ancient Silver Dragon. Deals combat damage to a player. Roll a d20. Draw cards equal to the result. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Does it trigger for each draw? Whenever you draw a card, I guess it counts every single draw. Okay, Chris Plummer with Copper Tablet. Martyrs of Corliss. Artifact Ward. And then 20 turns. I like that specification. 2 mana artifact, Copper Tablet is. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, deals 1 damage to that player. All right, step 1, deal 1 damage. Martyrs of Corliss. This is a 5 mana human, a 1/6. As long as Martyrs of Corliss is untapped, all damage that be dealt to you by artifacts is dealt to Martyrs of Corliss instead. And then Artifact Ward. Target creature cannot be blocked by artifact creatures, and any damage taken from an artifact source is reduced to 0. Target creature is unaffected by any artifact effects that target it. But, so what's the idea is to make everything an artifact though? I feel like we're missing something here. As long as Martyrs of Corliss is untapped, all damage that be dealt to you by artifacts is dealt to this thing. Target creature cannot be blocked. What is it? Enchanted creature can be blocked by artifacts. Prevent all damage that be dealt to enchanted creature by artifact sources. I feel like we're missing like Mycosynth Lattice to turn everything into artifacts, right? Oh no, this turns things into colorless. No, all permanents are artifacts. Yeah, I think this is the combo, but we're just missing the last piece of the puzzle, so that we're not dealing any damage. You damage each player 1 per turn. Martyr takes the damage. No, but not everything. It only protects you from artifact sources. So if they attack you with a non-artifact source, well, Martyrs of Corliss dies. Believe it or not, a 1/6 creature is not that big in the game, unless you make this. All damage that be dealt to you by artifacts is dealt to Martyrs of Corliss instead. As long as it's untapped, all damage that be dealt to you by artifacts. Oh, I see. You just don't want to die to your own Copper Tablet. I get it. Okay. I get it. Well, we also need to protect ourselves in some way. Duke Firebird. You didn't get a card? Okay, Doubling Season. Saito Spawn. Shambler. Any creature plus token generator. Double counters from Graft and then move one to each new creature to counter the buff. Okay, so hold on. We've got Saito Shambler, 7 mana. Graft 6. Pay a green. Target creature with a +1/+1 counter on it gains trample until end of turn. How's this? And then any creature / token generator. Double counters from Graft. I don't get it. This creature comes into play with 6 +1/+1 counters on it. Whenever another creature comes into play, you may move a counter from this creature onto it. Oh, I see. So you doubled here, and then you move a counter, and it doubles. Is it infinite? Double counters from Graft, and then move one. Oh, I think you just wanted to double the counters. I see. Okay, I gotta start putting you in timeout here. This is turning into spam. And also, I have no idea. Oh my god. How many of these are there? This is just crazy. Okay, let's look at Luca. Okay, hold on. This will be the last. I think this is the last free super chat. Cultivator Colossus. Abundance. Real abundance. Obnixilis the Fallen. Okay, we where does this start here? It starts off with Cultivator Colossus. What does this even do? It's 7 mana, star, trample. Power and toughness equal to the number of lands you control. Enters the battlefield. You can put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you do, draw a card and repeat the process. Abundance says if you draw a card, you may instead choose a land or non-land card and reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a card of the chosen kind. Oh, just put you could just go get a land. Put that card into your hand and put the other cards revealed this way onto the bottom of your library in any order. So basically, you just put infinite land. You just keep choosing land, put the land in play, you draw, and then abundance gets you more lands. And then Obnixilis says, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target player lose 3 life. And if you do, put 3 +1/+1 counters on Obnixilis the Fallen. Joe says, can you check mine? The first I said was disqualified for having 4 cards. Now it's 3. Okay, let's take a look at yours. You have Phyrexian Altar, Eternal Witness. I will get to the super chats, I promise, all super chatters. And Not Dead After All. Ooh, how does this work? Okay, Not Dead After All is going to reanimate our Eternal Witness with a +1/+1 counter on it. Sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color. Okay, so until end of turn, target creature you control gains. When this creature dies, returns to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control, then create a Wicked Roll token attached to it. I don't think this works. So I think what ends up happening is you're going to put Not Dead After All on your Eternal Witness. And then what ends up happening is you sack it, it dies. It's going to come back from Not Dead After All, but it's not perpetual. It forgets after that. It's like a new creature. The roll token kills them. How does the roll token kill them? An enchanted creature. No. You don't get to it forgets that so the ability of bringing it back from the graveyard, it's gone once Eternal Witness when the Eternal Witness comes back to the graveyard, it's just gone. So you will sack it once and then that's it. This is not the first, second, or third time we've had this combo on this show. Or this combo. Anyway, this is a bad combo that does not actually work. Okay, let's take a look at, we need to take a look at a super chat. We got Lucas here. Thank you so much for your super chat. Humility and Magus of the Moon. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how this works. Create a 30-minute argument at the kitchen table. So, whoops. So Magus of the Moon, non-basic lands or mountains. But then we have a separate card that says all creatures lose abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1. Okay, I believe that everything is still going to be a mountain. Is it a timestamp thing or it doesn't matter? Okay, I know if Magus of the Moon is on the battlefield first, 100%, and then you play Humility afterwards, because of layers, everything is still a mountain. But I don't know about the other way around. If Humility was on the battlefield first, maybe it still doesn't matter. Yeah, reading the card explain. Well, sometimes reading the card doesn't mean squat. It doesn't help you at all. Yeah, God's Cradle can also be a mountain. It's true. Okay, we also have Itor. Thank you very much for your super chat. Malira, Sylvan Outcast, right? Or Sylvok Outcast. Murderous Redcap. That is not a bad combo. Believe it or not, that was a tournament-winning combo at some point. So this is actually probably a little too good for this show. 4 mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Also has Persist. And also Malira, Sylvok Outcast. You can't get poison counters, and creatures you control can't have -1/-1 counters on them either. So that means whenever you need a sack outlet here, but whenever you sacrifice your Murderous Redcap, it comes back into play. But the Persist won't do squat because Malira says, you can't have a -1/-1 counter on this thing. No -1s at all, and you can perpetually kill your opponent to death. Part 27, can you do a show where you go over the Power 9 of lands? The Power 9, well, that's a good show, actually. What is the Power of 9 lands? I like that. Polrog says, I don't got a card yet. Did you? No? Okay, so do you have a comment or something? Okay, Polrog is over here. Giggling Skitter Spike. It's an actual card. Grafted Exoskeleton. And then Titanic Growth. We have 2 grafted exoskeleton combos on the same show. Equip and grow before combat. Giggling Skitter Spike. Skitter Spike. Yeah, 4 mana 1/1 indestructible. And whenever it attacks, blocks, or becomes the target of a spell, it deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. Also has Monstrosity 5, so it can get bigger. 5 +1/+1 counters bigger. Grafted Exoskeleton gets +2/+2 and has Infect. Well, that's great. So whenever you target it, it's just going to give you Infect damage. And also, whenever it becomes unattached, sack the thing. But I have a feeling that's not the point. And then we have Titanic Growth, 2 mana instant. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Is that enough to win? 4, 6, 7. Oh, and the Monstrosity +5. That will absolutely do it. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for submitting your combos. As usual, if you want to be part of the show, you got to be here 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope most people got their combos on the show. If you didn't, we'll do it next month. This is a reoccurring theme. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. And thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. People like Carlos, Steve, Jess, Oldboy, Nolan, even Jasper Rab. This is the OG Jasper Rab account. Christopher B, Kano, Just a Random Mage, Pabno. You guys are the show around here. This content's made by you. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up them coffees and we'll keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you at the next cup.